Hello and a very warm welcome viewers. You're watching this special presentation of Sansad TV with your host Kriti Mishra. And joining us today on the broadcast is a very special guest, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Minority Affairs, Mr. Kiren Rijiju. Sir, welcome to Sansad TV and thank you so much for joining us. And please allow me to limit the questions to the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs, and let's begin talking about CSPOC. India hosted historic and highly successful 28th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of Commonwealth. As Parliamentary Affairs Minister, what were the big takeaways for you?
I feel proud that India hosted successfully the Commonwealth Speakers and the Presiding Officers Conference. There are large numbers of Commonwealth countries who regularly participate in this event, and India is hosting once again successfully. And along with that, the speakers from different assemblies of the states have also participated. So it is a great opportunity for our speakers in different assemblies to have witnessed this high-level conference. India has a unique position, being the largest democracy and naturally the largest Commonwealth nations. Amongst the Commonwealth nations, India stands out as one of the bright spots in showcasing our successful parliamentary democracy. And how to create a robust system and to maintain the tradition also. It is important to have periodical conference like this and share our experiences. Many people have told me that this particular conference in India has been one of the most successful in terms of various proper arrangement as well as numbers of participations. And the visiting guest also have stated that it was a useful conference. So I congratulate the Indian Lok Sabha Speaker and all the organizers of this event, and the Honorable Vice President also participated and he hosted the lunch for the delegates. And I'm also happy that the Prime Minister's address was the high point of the conference.
Well, absolutely, sir. You talked about Prime Minister's inaugural address. Now, India's leadership at the conference reflected confidence and reliability. So how much of this can be attributed to Prime Minister's leadership? Because while Sansad TV was interviewing the delegates of the conference, they unanimously spoke about Prime Minister's leadership, whether it was about South-South cooperation or Global South. How do you look at that?
Well, Prime Minister is today one of the most popular leader in the world and also one of the senior most elected leader of the world. Prime Minister Modi is widely respected and admired. So Prime Minister Modi's address itself is an inspiring for all other leaders, because I've participated in many such conferences in last few years, and most of the leaders have almost in the same voice admitted and also expressed that Prime Minister Modi is the inspiration for all of them. It is attributed to Prime Minister's own credibility and also his achievements. The credibility comes from his belief in the system. Prime Minister believes in parliamentary democracy to the core. Prime Minister never deviates from the rules and the conventions established. He makes sure that we follow each and every step which is part of the rules as well as convention. I have seen very closely the working style of the Prime Minister Modi and also his personal involvement in day-to-day affairs of the parliamentary procedure. And also the success story of Prime Minister is another point of inspiration. He is almost, I can say that, the longest elected leader now. from the days of the chief ministership and to the position of the prime minister. So his success is completely result of his dedication and devotion, his service to the people and his commitment to the system. And he believes in the democratic principles in every step he takes. So I think these are various attributes to the Prime Minister which makes him the one of the tallest leader and also a figure of inspiration for all other leaders, not only in India but across the globe. So working closely with Prime Minister for such a long time, I feel privileged that such a tall leader is the Prime Minister of our country.
So how important is parliamentary diplomacy in furthering India's foreign policy and fortifying people-to-people ties?
Parliamentary democracy is something which I think it is a way of connecting with the people, because the system which I've seen in the some of the countries which do not practice parliamentary democracy, their system is heavily loaded in favor of one institution or the other institution. I can't criticize the other system, but I can definitely say that parliamentary democracy takes into account every concern which the citizens have, like participation in the grassroots democracy in the village level to electing the president and the prime minister. It is completely transparent and engaging every voter. The system is such that it cannot be misused or hijacked by any one person or one institution. It is very well balanced. The voice of the people are reflected to their elected representatives, and also the constitutional mechanism which we have in parliamentary democracy is taking care of all the organs of the state. The roles and the duties of the organs are well defined. While we have a very robust elected members who are committed to rule of law, at the same time we have constitutional institutions for check and balance. The presidential authority is very well defined to ensure that the governance takes care of most needed people of the country. At the same time, the judiciary has been given the utmost power and authority to ensure that every organ of the state follows the rule of law and the tenets of the parliamentary democratic principles are followed. So these are ensured. And besides that, the other constitutional mechanism which we have, like Election Commission of India and various other bodies, these are also thoroughly empowered by the Constitution. So I could very well sense that in parliamentary democracy, no one person or no one institution can override or take over the authority beyond its limitation or its jurisdiction. So that is why I can confidently say that the parliamentary democracy provides absolute balance for every institution, and at the same time full authority is given to the elected government to discharge its responsibility. So I'm very happy that India is a leading nation today amongst the democratic nations, and particularly amongst the Commonwealth nations. India stands out.
Well, absolutely, sir. And let me come to my final question on CSPOC. This successful conference, what kind of message would it send to the global community, global democratic community, on India and India's leadership?
Well, it is very well defined by the Honorable Prime Minister himself during his inaugural address. From the journey which we have taken since 1947 to present day success of our governments and the nation's achievements, it is very well defined. And in the present setup, which we are witness to the global situation, it is a powerful message to the global community that India is a robust democracy. And while the landscape of the geopolitics is changing very fast, this conference also will throw a very strong light on the close cooperation amongst the South-South nations and also amongst the democratic nations. So India will always celebrate its success and at the same time will give message to the world that Indians believe in democracy and India is a success story.
Well, absolutely, sir. And talking about the upcoming budget session, what are the priorities of the government?
Well, budget session is very well defined. We will begin the session with the address by the President to both the houses. And then the economic survey will be tabled. Then the budget will be presented. And after the presentation of the budget, we will start the discussion on the motion of thanks to the Honorable President. And then the discussion on budget will start. So it is a very specific session confined to budget, especially in the first part. And in the second part, we will have discussion on the demands for grants for various ministries. And if necessary, we will bring some important bills. Government bills can come during the second part of the Parliament budget session. And besides that, there will be some important discussions on some maybe some burning issues or any subject which Business Advisory Committee may take up. We are always open to discussion. I feel the output which we have seen in the past has been quite good, except some disruptions by the opposition party. The disruptions take a toll on the standards and the level of discussion on any particular subject, because we require thorough discussion on every subject or every matter which take up for discussion. But in terms of output, we never fail to discharge our duty, which means that if any business is there, we will ensure that the business is passed. But beyond that, while the business and the bills and other things are being taken up and passed by the Parliament, we also want that it should be properly discussed and debated on the floor of the House. That is the requirement. So whenever there is disruptions and which limits the length of the discussion, I feel that we need to look at the mechanism, how we can engage all the members and ensure that they take part in the discussions and debates. The output has been always good, but in some of the sessions I've seen the opposition parties do not truly participate during the discussion because of the disruptions which are generated by the opposition parties' attitudes. But I always tell them as a Parliamentary Affairs Minister to make them feel comfortable and take part in the discussion. It's all about dialogue amongst different political parties. Budget session will be good, and we are expecting a very good budget. And before that, we are looking forward to the inspiring speech from the Honorable President. And then the budget session is, in fact, a lengthy session divided into two parts. I feel that we can make best use of the long budget session. It will start from 28th, and it will go up to April.
Yes.
So 28th of January to April. So it's a long session, and during these sessions, I look forward to greater participations from not only the bigger parties, but even the smaller parties, independent MPs also will make good contributions. Everybody's role is important in the sustenance of our parliamentary democracy. So my best wishes to all the members.
So let's wrap up this conversation on a very positive note. During the last session, we saw over 100% productivity. Let's hope for the same this time as well.
Yes, I'm very hopeful. I'm always hopeful. I'm a very optimistic person. So being an optimist, I'm looking forward for better engagement and better productivity of the budget session.
On that very positive note, sir, thank you so much for joining us and speaking to us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.